This is K.M. Weiland, and you are listening to the 33rd episode of the Wordplay Podcast. Because writing is one of those lucky art forms that can be almost entirely self-taught, I believe strongly in the importance of always increasing my knowledge about the craft. I subscribe to The Writer and Writer's Digest magazines, just to make sure I always have some new information flowing into my reading material. And I'm always on the lookout for insightful books. Christmas brought me a handful of exciting prospects, including Orson Scott Card's Character and Viewpoint, which I'm already salivating over. If you're interested in reading my list of recommended books on the craft, stop by my blog at wordplay-kmweiland, that's weiland.blogspot.com, and look in the bottom of the left-hand column. I'm constantly receiving queries about when my books will be available in Kindle format. As of this week, I'm excited to announce that both A Man Called Outlaw and Behold the Dawn have been released in Kindle and other e-reader formats. If you'd like to download them, both can be found on Amazon and Smashwords.com for $6.99. Meanwhile, enjoy this week's post. Are you called to be a writer? Most of us write for simple reasons. We enjoy it. It gives us personal satisfaction and fulfillment. Maybe it earns us a little money, or maybe even a lot of money. For most of us, those reasons are good enough by themselves to justify our pouring our time and thought and effort into what is largely a metaphysical pursuit. But, at one point or another in our commitment to writing, we often can't help but wonder if this crazy passion is really worth our time. Is our talent and desire for writing a gift we're meant to use? Or is it just a harmless hobby, something to pass the time that others might pass by remodeling classic cars or playing soccer? Is our writing just a fun pastime? Or is it a calling? Because fiction is largely seen as a venue of the entertainment industry, it can be easy, and even tempting, to dismiss writing as ultimately pointless. Is something as insignificant as a story really going to matter in 100 years? Check that. Is it really going to matter next year? In short, as much as we love our stories, they really don't measure up with the truly important things you could be doing with all that time you spend writing, right? My answer is no. Absolutely, unutterably, unquestionably no. Venita Hampton Wright, author of the hauntingly beautiful The Soul Tells a Story, engaging creativity with spirituality in the writing life, puts it poignantly. When you respond to your creative calling, you are doing something that is necessary for the world. It may be necessary in big ways, say a series of newspaper articles that can help shape the consciousness of a generation, or it may be necessary in small ways, perhaps a charcoal sketch that brings you, the artist, healing. But art is not a luxury. Creative works are called out by cultural and personal needs that are too deep and intuitive to be obvious every time. It's difficult to quantify such quality. It would be impossible to do a spreadsheet analysis of how artistic work helps us. Whether or not writing is your personal calling, I can't say. Only you can decide that for yourself. But chances are, if you're listening to this, you have been called. Embrace the calling. Take pride in it. Thank God for allowing you to take part in such a spectacular life's work. And never belittle it just because, at the end of the day, all you've produced is a handful of words. Words have ever been, and always will be, the most forceful catalysts in the world. Thank you for listening to the Wordplay Podcast. To read a transcript of this episode, visit me on the web at wordplay-kmweiland, that's weiland.blogspot.com. And be sure to listen again next week.